So, school library. You know that feeling when you walk in and the room literally does not know you exist? No cap, that was my school library. 1 or 2 visitors a day, sometimes 0.
Kosong.
It was giving abandoned haunted house make it educational. And then the plot twisted so hard, and honestly, we are going to talk about it. Hi, I'm Gracia Mesirana, 11th grade from Semon 1 Pulang Pisau. This is my presentation for the Reading Ambassador Competition Pulang Pisau Literary Festival 2026. Before you scroll away thinking this is going to be boring and stiff, bestie, no.
Bestie. Yay!
I promise on my phone battery this video slaps. We have a mystery, a plot twist, 3 programs with names that go hard, and a closing that might actually make you feel something. Stay, you will not regret it, probably. Okay, story time, and we are not skipping it. My school library used to get like 1 or 2 visitors a day. Some days, absolutely 0. Crickets, tumbleweeds, a single lip blowing in the wine. And okay, real talk, it was not even the students' fault. Nobody invited them in, like at all. The library was just there, existing, hoping someone would notice. It was giving wallflower at prom energy, and it was not serving. Then the school did a renovation, a new books, new pipe, new energy, and something cheap. People start showing up, not because teachers said so, not for extra credit, not because of anything. Just because they wanted to be there. It blew my mind. Now, not a single day without visitor, at least 5 students walk in every single day.
At least.
But here is the thing that kept me up at night.
Tidurlah.
What happens when the hype dies down? What if one day it just goes quiet again? That is the real problem. I'm fixing it. That is my whole era right now. Okay, so people always misread this situation, and it low kids annoys me. They say, oh, the library needs more books, or oh, the room is too small, or my personal opinion art trigger. Kids these days just not read anymore. No, we are not doing that narrative. The real problem is embarrassingly simple. Nobody is inviting people in. That is it. That is the whole thing. And here is the part that actually got me going, because listen, when even one person starts inviting others, the whole energy of the room shifts. Not everyone comes, but enough do. Enough to make the place feel alive. I literally watched this happen at my own school, but we cannot just cross our finger and hope that one magical person shows up every year. We need a system. We need a structure. We need a role that is built for exactly this, the reading ambassador. With spoiler alert, is literally what I am here to become. No shame, Pulsan. Okay, a lot of people think a reading ambassador is just a title, like a trophy for whoever looks the most bookiest. But no, a reading ambassador is chosen for one very specific skill, the ability to get people moving. Symbol just stand there looking cute. Catalysts make actual thing happens. Big difference, massive difference, night and day difference. And the library backing them up also cannot just be a sad dusty room anymore. Future library is adaptive. Physical books meet digital research. Managed well, feel like it genuinely belongs to everyone, not just for the kids who already love reading, for literally every single person. But here is the kicker thought. Neither one survives without the others. Library needs the ambassador. Ambassador needs the library. When they finally click, that is when everything actually happens. That is when everything actually changed. Okay, 3 programs. Each one has a name that goes hard. Each one has real step. First up, PILDU. Pemilihan Duta Baca Sekolah. Okay, so here is something that low-key lives in my head rent-free. Every time there is a district competition, school just scramble. Last minute, zero process, they grab whoever seems to like books. That's not it. That is not serving anyone. PILDU is the pigs. Step 1. The district ambassador goes to school in person, not a player, not a poster nobody reads. An actual visit, an actual conversation. We are not casting this. Step 2. Interested students submit 2 simple things, a short essay about reading and a quick intro video. Low effort to enter, just enough to see who actually means it. Step 3. A small team picks 3 finalists, thus 3 present their vision in front of classmates. Real audience, real stakes, real slay. Step 4. Winners get officially appointed, registered as the school candidate for the district competition. Done and done. With PILDU, schools stop sending whoever is available. They start sending whoever is ready. Different energy entirely, right? Program 2, GERPUS, Gerakan Perpustakaan Siswa, Student Library Movement. This one hits close to home because it is literally inspired by what happened at my school. Here is the thread about renovation. They can change how a place looks, but what keeps people coming back is what happened inside. And it does not need to cost anything crazy. It just needs one thing: consistency. Step 1. Ambassadors send out a simple survey. One question: what do you actually want to read? Answers go straight to the school as book suggestion, because if the books are things students actually want, they will actually read them. Mind-blowing concept, I know. Step 2. Every single week, one book review on the notice board on school social media. Just one every week. No skipping. That is enough to keep the library living in people's heads rent-free. Step 3. Every month, the ambassador set up a book recommendation wall, not formal, not graded, just honest little notes from one reader to another. Now imagine that wall after 6 months just covered. That walls become proofs. Reading is actually happening here by real students, not a campaign, not a bulletin board nobody looks at. Real people, real reaction. That is giving community. That is giving culture. 3. LILAS, Literasi Lintas Kelas. And yes, this is my favorite, not up for discussion. Final answer. Because okay, I know there are students who will never walk into the library first, not lazy, not book public, whatever that means. Just that specific awkward feeling of walking into a new place alone for the first time, not knowing where to stand, not knowing the unspoken rules. That feeling is so real and we never actually talk about it out loud. So instead of waiting for them to come to us, we go to them, period. Step 1. Every 2 weeks, the ambassador visits different classroom, brings 2 or 3 books, talk about each one for 5 minutes max. Not a lecture, okay? More like, hey bestie, this book is actually unhinged in the best way. Here is why you need it in your life. Step 2. Anyone who wants to borrow can do it right there and then. No library trip, no first awkward walk-in, the barrier just disappears. Step 3. After they finish and return the book, they write 1 sentence on the reading impression wall outside the library. Just 1 sentence, but think about what will become over time. Every sentence on it is proof that someone read something, that someone felt something, that someone decided a book was worth their time. That wall does not just look good in the hallway, it tells a story, and honestly, that story hits different when real people wrote it. Okay, if you zoom out and look at all 3 together, there's a pattern that is very much intentional. PILDU builds the system, GERPUS creates the habit, LILAS reaches the people who will never show up on their own. They connect, they stack together, but the real power is not even in the design, it is who runs it. Students. Not a memo from the principal, not a policy from above. A movement that starts from the ground and goes up. That is the era we are stepping into. I will also be real about one challenge. Reading ambassador changes every year. If we do not write things down, everything disappears when the next person takes over. So documentation is built into every program, every step, every detail. Next ambassador does not start from zero. They start from where we left off, because that is how a movement actually stays alive. At the very start of this video, I asked you a question. Have you ever walked into a place and felt like you did not belong there? I used to feel that in my own school library, and I think that feeling is the actual thing we need to fix. Not the budget, not the size of the shelf, just that feeling of walking into space that should belong to everyone and feeling like it does not belong to you. My school library changed, not because of one big event, not because of one big announcement, but because someone started paying attention, because someone started inviting people in. If I get to be a reading ambassador, I am not stopping at the ceremony photo. I want every school in Pulang Pisau to have their own ambassador, not because they were told to have one, but because someone in that school decided to start something. Because nobody told us to read, we just started. Okay, Q&A time. Because I know some of you may have thoughts. First question, what do you want to be a reading ambassador, specifically like why you? Honestly, because I have seen what happens when nobody steps up. The library goes quiet, the books collect dust, and everyone just accepts it like that is normal. I do not think that is normal. I think that is just what happens when nobody decides to carry it. So I want to be that person who decides first. No cap, that is the whole reason. Next question, what if students just genuinely do not want to read? Like, you cannot force people. Okay, valid, super valid actually. But here is the thing, I am not trying to force anyone. LILAS, GERPUS, none of these programs are about forcing. They are about removing the reason people say no. Because most of the time, when someone says they do not like reading, what they actually mean is they have not found the right book yet, or the library felt too scary to walk into, or nobody ever talked to them about books like it was something exciting. That is fixable, completely fixable. You cannot force a reader, but you can create the condition for one. And that is what these programs do. What happens if the next reading ambassador does not continue your programs? That is actually my biggest fear, not gonna lie. Which is exactly why documentation is non-negotiable in everything I do. Every step of PILDU, GERPUS, and LILAS gets written down. Every result, every lesson, everything. So even if I am gone, the system stay. Because a movement that only works when one specific person is around is not a movement. It is just a pace, and we are not here for pace. We are here for something that lasts. Last one, and this one I actually asked myself. If you do not win this competition, will you still do all of this? My answer for that question is yes.
Anang,
Ya,
aku sih yes. Kata Mas Anang gimana nih?
aku sih yes.
The competition is not why I met this program. I met them because the problem is real and the solution is doable. Winning would be amazing, not going to pretend otherwise. But with or without the title, I am going back to my school and I am starting something. Because nobody told us to read, we just started.
Saatnya sudah